Welcome to Pilates today, and we are focusing on a little bit of the chest, upper back and neck area. So as we get older, we land up with this kind of posture with the neck and the shoulders. Maybe you sat at a desk for long hours and you have that kind of posture as well. So everything we're going to do today is really about stretching off the chest and the neck area, working a little bit of shoulder mobility, and then strengthening the upper back. So I have I call it a token gesture band just because it is so weak. But if you haven't got a band, you don't need a band. You can visualize a band and you'll still get benefit from this. So let's get started. Now we are going to have the band relatively loose just for the first one. Or if you haven't got a band, you're going to have your hands in that position there. So what I'll actually do is if I do a couple without the band, and then I'll do some with the band. So your hands will be out to the side. You can do this kneeling or seated in a chair as well. You don't need to do this in standing. So from here, we're going to start to pull the hands back. But don't just think of taking the hands back. I really want you to imagine that you have something in your hands, like heavy buckets of water or something, and start to pull them back. So hopefully you can feel the back of your arms working. Now from there, you're going to turn your fists so they're facing outwards, and then can you face them to the wall behind you? So hopefully now you can feel the whole shoulder joint go closed at the back, so really strengthening that upper back. Now hold that position, look to your right, keep squeezing the shoulder blades, look to your left, come back to the center and release your buckets of water. Okay, so palms are facing forward, lift the buckets of water behind you. Turn your palms outward and then try and get your palms to the wall behind you and really feel those shoulder blades close in. Now we're going to turn the head to the left first. As you turn to the left, be mindful the right shoulder doesn't try and come back round, so really try and squeeze that right shoulder. Then take it to the right side, back to the center, and then release. So if you haven't got a band, you're just going to carry on with that. You can visualize that. If you have got a band, or perhaps you've got quite a strong band, then make sure it's quite loose so it's a little bit easier for you. So we're taking the hands back. Think of the buckets of water. Now turn the palms outwards, called external rotation. And now send your palms to the wall behind you. Really squeeze those shoulder blades. We look to the right first. Right, left. Center, and then release. They're not very nice, are they? Give it a little jiggle, but they are really good for you. So from here, send your arms back, hands go out to the side, squeeze your shoulder blades. We go to the left first. Left, right. Keep squeezing those shoulder blades. Come back to the center, and then release. So we're going to do one more each side. Arms go back. Externally rotate, so palms face outwards and then almost to the wall behind you. Draw the tummy in, grow nice and tall. Looking to the right, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Coming back to the center, look towards your left, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Come back to the center and then release. Oh, did I say one more or two more? Let's do one more to the right side. And grow nice and tall, tummy pulls in, send the hands back. Turn the palms, squeeze your shoulder blades together, right side first, left side, keep squeezing, come back to the center, and then release, good. So just give everything a little jiggle, the shoulders, and like me, you can feel the back of the arms. So what we're going to do now is called a Cleopatra. So what happens with people with the shoulders? Our brain wants to use as little energy as possible. It doesn't want to think. It wants everything to be nice and comfortable. So whenever we lift our arms, people will generally lift the shoulders first and then the arms, whereas actually the shoulder blade should come down underneath the arms, and then at the final point of wherever your arms go, then the top of the shoulders would work. Okay, so dumb weights are just there to help teach correct muscle recruitment. So you want to imagine, now again, if you haven't got a band, you are just going to do this without a band. The band doesn't really matter, okay? So if you think of a waiter holding a tray, so the elbow is under the shoulder and your wrist is in line with the elbow. So be aware that your hands are not up there or down there. And then I say this very lightly, just hug the elbows in a little bit. So you don't want to be like tense. Just like imagine, and sometimes I do this in a class, put a piece of paper there and you don't want to drop the piece of paper. So you don't want to be squeezing it. From here, we're going to open up the hands. Okay, this is the dumb waiter part. So depending what I'm focusing on for in a particular class, sometimes I don't want the back to move because I want to focus on shoulder mobility, so I'm trying to move just the arm. But today I want to focus on the upper back a little bit more. So as you take your hands out to the side, try and squeeze your shoulder blades together, so we're strengthening that upper back. So you might find your chest pokes up a little bit here, and then bring it back in again. So we're just not going to do this. Everything is with control. So taking the hands out. Now squeeze your shoulder blades. Imagine the shoulder blades want to touch your spine. And then try and get the shoulder blades to go down the back a little bit. And your heart will lift slightly. Pull the tummy in. And then release back and let your spine come back to a neutral position. So hands open. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then drop those shoulder blades down the back, draw the tummy in. So you might feel there's a very slight lifting of your collarbone. So that's coming into a thoracic extension, which for most of us, we need that. That's why I'm focusing on that today. And then release it back down. We can take it one step further now. From here, take the hands out into the dumb waiter. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, slide it down. Now we're going to open up the hands. So your band is going to rub your nipples and it's going to come under your chin, somewhere around there. Just don't let go of your band. And now your hands will be in line with your head, somewhere around there. So just pay attention that your shoulders haven't climbed. So pull the shoulders down the back, pull the tummy in. Just felt mine popping. Bring your elbows down into the hips. So you notice the wrists are in line with the elbows, and then bring your hands back in. So often what happens on the way in, I'll do this from an angle, people will bring it in that way rather than that way, okay? So that's what you want to be mindful of. So we open the dumb waiter. Take it into Cleopatra. So the band's going to be somewhere between the chin and the chest. Hands are in line with the head. And the elbows aren't locked, they're soft. So walk like an Egyptian. Think of that. Was it the Bangles? I can't remember. And now bring your elbows down first. Keep your hands out to the side. And then you bring the dumb waiter in. So hopefully you can feel that a lot more around your arms, triceps, your back. Just do a couple more. So taking the dumb waiter, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Then open up the Cleopatra. Hands are in line with the head. Draw your tummy in. Now as you bring your hands, oh, I'm getting stuck in my necklace. As you bring your elbows down, we don't want those hands to go there. So really pull the hands back, pull it back, pull it back. And then close your dumb waiter. So last one. Hands. And then take it back up again. Check your arms. And then as you come down, think of your thumbs trying to touch the wall behind you. Don't let them come in. Grab that piece of paper in your armpits or elbows. And then bring it all back in again. Well done. So, give everything a little jiggle. Give yourself a little hug. We are going to lie on the front. I have a block which I'm going to put under my forehead just because my microphone is there, and if I'm down there you won't be able to hear. So if you find you naturally have quite a round posture, have a block under your head because it's going to straighten up the spine, or if you've got really big boobs or a big belly, have a little bit of support under the forehead as well. So we're going to do another movement which is called chicken wings. So in standing, this is what it looks like. But we're going to do it on our front to make the back work a little bit more. I always like to work to the same direction. So my head's going to be there. Just move that out. So we'll come into lying on the front. And your legs can be together. That's going to be a little harder. Parallel will be a little bit easier. Or if you take your legs and just turn your femur bones so the toes are pointing outwards, that's going to be a little bit tamer on the lower back. So if you find you really stiff in your lower back, then have the legs wider. Otherwise, just pick one. We're not going to be focusing on the legs so much. We're going to be focusing on the arms. So once your forehead is down, have your elbows as far down to your hips or your waist as you can. So again, everyone's got different bone lengths, so some people's might be higher. And then your hands are on the floor. So pull your tummy away from the mat. Send your pubic bone into the floor and squeeze your bum, and then try and touch the wall behind you with your toes. So really activate your legs. Float the head up and your chest, and then we're going to lift the hands. So for some of you, this might just be where you're going to stop today. Otherwise, we're going to take the right hand and bring it forward. And as you bring it forward, you're trying not to drop down. So really squeeze your bum. And then bring the right arm back. And then release down. Give your bum a little wiggle. So I don't know if you're probably doing this with me, but when I take my arm back, my right elbow drops, and that's what you're kind of trying to stop. So I do know my right shoulder isn't particularly mobile or flexible. And these are the things you want to observe in your body. Do both arms do the same thing, or does one arm do something a little bit different? And again, we don't want to force movement, just observe. So pull the belly button in, pubic bone into the mat. Now, as you squeeze your bum, allow the head to come up and then your arms up. So now we're going to do the left arm. So as the left hand comes up, we're trying not to drop the wrist or the elbow. Send it forward. Squeeze your bum to stop you falling down. Bring the arm back in and then relax. Give your bum a little wiggle. So now we're going to stay up a little bit longer. We're going to do the right side and then the left. Have a relax, left side and then the right side. Okay? Of course, if you need a rest, please do come down and have a rest. So belly buttons, come off the mat, pubic bone into the floor and reach the legs away. We come up into that position, so lift both the elbows, pull the shoulders back. Right arm's going to come forward, so I can see this hand is dropping, so I'm trying to lift it. Reach it forward, and then bring it back. Hold it there. Now left one. Make sure your head is up, the chin's down. Taking the left hand forward. Squeeze your bum, and then bring it back, and then release down. Whew. Give your back a little wiggle. So this time we're going to do it again, and the left side is the one that we're going to start with. So hands on the floor. Belly button pulls in, pubic bone to the mat. Reach your legs away, lifting your head and your chest. Keep looking down, lift the arms. Left one goes first. Keep squeezing, try not to let the chest drop back down. Bring the arm back. And then right side. So I feel this all the way down the right side of the back. And then bring that right arm back. And then release. Woo! So we've only got one more to do and then we're finished with those. Just give your back a little shake. So all we're going to do now is try and take both arms. And you might find that your arms need to flump down on the floor, and that's completely fine. Just be curious. What's your body going to do? You know, arms do weigh. They don't weigh like feathers, but they do weigh. So you might land up having to put them on the floor. Doesn't matter. So pull the tummy in, pubic bone. Reach your legs away, lifting your body. So just notice where you are on your chest. Lifting your hands. Now we're trying not to let the weight of the arms pull the body down. So you do that by really squeezing your bum cheeks. Okay, we're ready. So breathe in. Squeeze your bum and then reach both the arms forward. I might even collapse. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Oh, bring the arms back. And then release the hands down. Woo. Good. So we're going to come into, if you have problems with your knees, roll onto your back, give your knees a hug. Or if you've got nothing wrong with your knees, you can come into a child pose and just stretch off your back there. So, you know, in the world, everyone thinks Pilates teachers and yoga teachers that we all have these perfect bodies and we don't struggle with anything. But if they were completely honest, they would tell you that they do have their own imbalances and their own pain and issues. I've got nothing to hide. And then bring yourself back up again and then just come into a seated position. I'm beyond that point of worrying. I think it comes with age. So sitting nice and tall. Oh, so nice deep breath in, reach those hands up to the ceiling. And just have a nice big stretch. Reach and reach and reach. And then bring the hands back down again. Have a few shoulder rolls. Take your right ear to the right shoulder, just stretch it off, especially when you've done shoulder work, it can feel a little bit stiff. Take the chin to the collarbone, so you're gazing down towards, between the armpit and the knee, somewhere around here, just stretching off the back of the left side of the neck. Taking the gaze forward again and then lifting the head, and now we'll take it over to your left side. So even for me now, I know that I particularly struggle with levator scapula, which is the back of the skull into the shoulder blades. It's from being on the computer so much. So stuff like this can, you know, sometimes give you a bit of a headache. So a nice massage in the neck. Sometimes I will put a spiky ball under my neck and just give myself a little massage. And then take the chin to the collarbone, keep the spine tall, and just try and create space between the back of the neck and your shoulder blades. Your gaze is between your nipple and your armpit, or under the armpit, somewhere around there. Just enjoy that little stretch. And then the gaze will be forward. Bring it back up again and just have a little circle. And well done. So that is your Pilates class for today, strengthening the upper back, improving shoulder mobility and faulty muscle recruitment of the shoulders, and some stretching. So enjoy the class, and I'll see you again soon. Take care, my lovelies. Bye.